We're live.
Hello, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in to another dinner chat. I think this is episode 22.
22.
My co-host,
AD Factorating.
and Tom Leffler. And today we're going to explore, the main topic's going to be, what do we wish we had more time for?
Yes.
And also talk about some main character stuff.
Exactly. So to lead us off, Tom.
Okay.
He thought I was going to go first. Main character stuff, that sounds awesome.
We'll start there.
So, he just coined the term to me. I mean, he said it before, but it really resonated with me tonight. Like, what does it mean to do main character stuff?
So something that, I mean, I've seen reels and something that really stuck in my mind probably a year ago is like, imagine, I think Joe Rogan said, like, imagine if a documentary crew was filming your life. Like, just imagine that, and you're the main character in your life. How would you live?
Wow.
And so this kind of, that kind of really like always stuck in the back of my head. And so for me, it's like, okay, if I'm in the documentary crew of my own life, like I wouldn't be doing certain things. Like I'm not going to be lazy. I'm not going to be doing hedonistic things. I'm not going to be a man of like, not my word. I'm going to be going to the gym. I'm going to be working hard. I'm going to be having fun, being present. I'm going to not be stressed over little things. Like, cause this is all on video, you know, like someone's going to watch this one day and like, I want to be like the person that doesn't say what he does or like is like lazy, you know, like all those things. And so now it translates to main character stuff. Cause like once you have like the discipline kind of work ethic and you create those like kind of rituals in your life to get you to like some sort of success, I think it's important to do stuff that you find enjoyment in. And again, most people in today's age find enjoyment in just living for the weekend.
True. And
just partying, drinking, doing stuff like that. Versus my idea of like main character stuff is like going out of your comfort zone and doing things usually physical.
Yes.
Like this morning I did a hot yoga class at 120 degrees. It was a vinyasa power flow, and I've only been doing hot yoga for 6 weeks, and the hottest class I've been in was 100 degrees. And I've been doing like a guide. So like, you know, just like someone asked me like last night, and I'm like, we'll just do it. You know, it's just like, I'm scared, but like I realize in that moment, that's when you gotta do it. Mm-hmm. So like doing more stuff like that, or if you have the ability, like going on that trip, like taking that
hike,
you know, like doing that workout or doing something that you normally wouldn't do, because that's what you're gonna remember. Like when we, you know, so I think it's important to try to do something every quarter, like something that you normally don't usually do. It could be a hike, a workout, it could be a different like type of workout. So if you're a lifting guy, it could be doing cardio, or it could be taking a Pilates class, you know, something totally different, or joining a running club, like and going for like a, you know, so it could be going surfing, it could be snowboarding. It doesn't have to be necessarily physical. It could be like, you know, for I guess a guy like approaching a girl like in a respectful way, like at a cafe or something. Just get out of your comfort zone. You're like. And just push yourself, like, and just think, like, I'm the main character in my life. Like, what do I do? Like, why am I scared? Like, am I scared? So it's cool. Like, this is, you know, I want to be that. Who cares?
What you said really resonated. That ideology I think I had when I was younger, which was, what am I doing in front of my imaginary audience? And like,
well, it's not really not imaginary. It's God.
I mean, obviously. I mean, that's what it's now become now, but I'm just saying, like, for someone who didn't have faith back then, what am I doing in front of my imaginary audience? Now I know that to be God, because God is always watching, like, he's all seeing, like, so, but that's integrity also. So it seems like being main character is just someone of true integrity. Like, they do what they say, they always get the job done. Like, it's like if someone wants to pop in, so time, you're doing what you did yesterday.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, for example, me, it's not like, okay, so we're here having this dinner. It's not like tomorrow night I'm eating like Sour Patch Kids and a gallon of ice cream.
Yeah.
And watching TV.
Yeah, true. You know? True.
Because then that wouldn't be that's not
who you are. That's not your identity.
That's not who I am. But yeah, so like that's kind of and it's something I've been playing with. Like that's something I've really been thinking about is like be the main character. So I always like I like the concept of like imagine a documentary crew was watching you. Mm-hmm. That does push you like to be like, okay, I shouldn't be doing this, or I really should be doing this. But then I think the other part is like, yeah, don't beat, because you'd be like beat yourself up standpoint, but being a main character is kind of like more exciting, you know?
Mm-hmm. Because otherwise it's kind of like too much pressure. Mm-hmm. When the main character is just like, all right, I had a bad moment right then. How am I going to finish up the scene? Am I going to hang my head for the next 37 frames, or am I going to turn this around? Am I going to go out and be a hero? And that ties into what we would do more of, actually, very beautifully. So, Tom, if you had, like, so I guess the question goes, if you had more time, what would you do more of, or, sorry, right? Something along that, so tell me.
In my current stage of life, if I had more time, I'd spend it just with a lot more relationships. I'm very blessed in my life right now that I have amazing people in my life, people I prayed for, people I saw and believed, and I've worked years to like foster. You being one of the relationships, so I spend more time with them. And next thing I would do is spend more time with myself, doing things for myself. So at this stage, I think that for me is, again, with myself, for myself, would be probably traveling more. Mm-hmm. I would travel more because if I had the time, I think you just learn a lot about, for me personally, I learn a lot when I travel. So I do more solo trips and just kind of explore, get out of my comfort zone and just interact with different cultures, different people. It doesn't have to be like crazy trips like going to a different country. It could just be traveling more around here.
To another state, yeah, literally.
Even in New Jersey, going somewhere different that you've never been before.
Yeah, lodging somewhere and just like having a different experience, a different perspective.
Mm-hmm. So, more time, definitely a relationship, so, because I love it. Like, I'm just so blessed right now with my life with who I have in it, and I don't have enough time
to like literally spend time with everyone, which is good, because there's a time in your life that there was no one in it, and it was just all work.
Yes.
In fact, you were looking for more work because you were like, I have to be with myself again. What do I do?
Mm-hmm. I'm just using work to numb, I guess, like, well, there's a stage, like, I consciously wasn't hanging out with people because I didn't have the people I wanted to be with necessarily, or the people I wanted to moved away. So I like made a conscious decision I would spend time with myself, but I didn't do it in a healthy way. Just kind of worked all the time. But I wasn't going out and do. So that's the thing. I realized like nothing changes if nothing changes. Mm-hmm. So if you want relationships, you want the things, but you're doing the same thing, you got to just change. You got to change it up. You just got to do things differently. Like you're like, oh, like for example, like I don't know why I can't find someone to date, or I don't know why I can't find friends. But okay, you've been doing the same thing for the last 6 months. Maybe try something different. Yeah. You know, join a club, go somewhere different. Like you gotta try.
Take advice from people. You know, maybe your way is not like the best way.
Mm-hmm. How about yourself,
bro? Interesting enough, traveling is something that also would be top of the list. I mean, as you know, since we know each other, I traveled really like. I think I went to like Ohio once or something, and it was like a family type trip thing. So it wasn't really like purpose driven. Like it wasn't like a vacation or exploring the world. That's something that I think in the point of life right now, I am now like growing the family and growing the kids. Like it seems like it's just such a far afterthought. My wife mentioned it recently. She was like, we really need to like plan like a vacation for us to just go somewhere else. And I'm just like thinking in my mind, I'm like, where can we even squeeze that in? There's so much stuff that I haven't done here. And then funny enough, I think, which is funny, I think I need to spend more time with my dog. I realize my dog, like, it's not like I don't feed him and stuff like that, but most of the time, like, I feel like I can give like 30 minutes more a day to my dog. Like, I think that would be really good. I think we have a good relationship, but it would be much better if that was the case. I kind of feel bad sometimes with all that's going on. Yeah, he's kind of like someone I go, like I come back and I'm like, hey, what's up, buddy? And all. He's always happy, but I feel like sometimes he's not getting as much attention as, as he needs. Future stuff. Because with Thor, when he's around too, you're out all day.
So that's why he's at my parents.
Mm-hmm. So Thor's your dog. Okay.
He's the family dog, but that's why I have him in the winter because I'm home. But these days I leave the house like 6:37 and I don't get home until 6:37. Mm-hmm. So it's just not fair to the dog. So he's at my parents' house. So my mom's home.
Mm-hmm.
So
But Alpha's been a champ about it, man.
yeah,
Great spirit. I'm trying to check him out. People love him. He's getting bigger, like, you know. But now I feel bad sometimes. I'm like, dang, man, like, I wish I had more time. Especially with the baby right now. But I think as the baby gets older and I can integrate him, because he can't go outside yet, the baby. So when I walk, I don't wake up early enough to have a long enough walk. It's like a quick one. It's like a quick, you know, it's like a quick, like,
it's a
20
business
minutes.
trip.
Rather than a full hour of just like, I feel that hour is huge too. It's a
good for
business
you
trip. And then
What do you think the time with your family has that been? You've been hitting
that's
that,
the number one priority.
and you've been hitting that. But yeah,
Mm-hmm. Number one priority. And now I don't have work, so I'm
when do you go back?
end of June, beginning of July.
Oh wow, so you're still.
So when that happens, you know, then but I stopped working in New York. Hopefully, because it's in worse now, my office is 15 minutes from home, which is huge. My commute used to be 2 hours, 15 minutes, 2 hours, 30 minutes, go. So I used to commute 4 hours a day, so.
That's tremendous.
Mm-hmm. So, the only time has been good with the sheer nature of my wife working at home and me being on paternity. You know.
And then something new you've incorporated with your wife. You were telling me is like doing walks, like working out with your wife, but not like lifting heavy. Mm-hmm. But I think like you have conversations, stuff.
She started lifting yesterday. I'm very excited.
Oh yeah, she started lifting.
Mm-hmm. Well, she did hamstring, leg exercises. Then she trained back. So I didn't lift with her, but I did cardio with her. I'm very excited. My wife has a very good physique, naturally, so.
She's had 2 kids, she looks phenomenal.
Any slight training, I'm very excited. She's never trained seriously, so. If she comes twice a week with me for 6 months, she's gonna look amazing. I mean, she already looks amazing. She don't look perfect. Like what people get surgeries for. You know what I mean? Like something that you're like, no, that's Photoshop.
She's got great genetics. You have the size genetics. She's got the.
She has what?
I said you have the size genetics.
She has like the lean genetics, which is crazy.
The athlete.
Big time. Never did pull up before. A month ago, we were at a friend's house and just banged out like 2 pull-ups. I'm like, what?
And she's not tiny either.
She's like shaking, but she clean ones. Yeah.
I know what I'm saying. She's not like a stick.
Mm-mm.
Like, that's impressive.
145.
That's impressive. That's very impressive. So, most guys at 145 can do a pull-up.
That's what I'm saying, bro. No, but anyway, like definitely. And you know, another thing actually to think about, because I think this is actually kind of a busy season right now because my wife's studying for a CPA. Shout out to all the people starting out for their CPAs. It's a 4-part exam, man.
It's a very, very hard
So,
exam.
you know, as she's studying now, like she's trying to take them all in a month, She's taking 1 part in a month, so she has like 30 days to study. So, you know, that puts a strain on time we spend together because she works 8:30 to like 7 or 6:30 before she's at home. So we interact with each other in between like break times. But with the studying too, that takes like 6 hours away in the weekend because there's 3-hour time blocks where I kind of have to get out the house to kind of, I drop her off in the library, but the library is open on Sunday. So today I just went to go spend some time at a buddy of mine's house, not far, like 5 minutes away. And I just helped him with yard work and stuff, which was nice. I got some cardio in and stuff.
Got outside, it was a beautiful day.
Exactly, and his wife looked after my son, but man, I was
Shalape.
She was studying at home.
No, Little Shalape.
Oh, Little Shop was my mom, which was nice. So I only had 1 kid to kind of deal with. So Little Shop is very energetic now, very energetic.
Run bunches.
She'll be on a podcast one day.
Oh yeah.
She's talking a lot, man.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. We get Wiggle on the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Her excited wiggle. So yeah, with my wife's CPA, they definitely, because you know a lot of times we get a lot of our personal like one-on-one time on the weekends because we're trying to get sleep on time now. So, that's been harder with the CPA. Respectively so. It's a short period of time though. But I need to find ways to use some ingenuity to find some time for us to spend good time, quality time with each other.
Do you guys eat meals at night together?
Mm-hmm.
Breakfast?
We get one meal a day,
Okay.
at least, together. One at breakfast, one for dinner. Yesterday was dinner. But
When's our busy season end?
within the next month or so.
That's good. So after that,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know if people know, it counts. Okay, she's in her busy season right now, and she's studying for a CPA, and she has 2 kids, and she's one's a newborn.
She's amazing, man. I couldn't do half the things.
And I talked to her today. She's like
Super happy, yeah. Women also have the capacity, unlike men do, to do multiple things.
I'm not good multitasker. Are you?
No! You know me. I have a lot of things going on, but I'm not multitasking, man.
Yeah, it's interesting how women have that. Have you ever noticed that your wife has intuition? Have you noticed that?
Of course. All the time.
Yeah.
We notice that too, right? Mothers, sisters, same thing. We can tell when something's not going right in your life or with the relationship or even from the onset, that's not gonna work out.
That's crazy.
So what was your intuition moment with a woman lately? What happened?
What woman?
Put him on spot. Well, where is she?
I'm talking to nobody.
I'm joking.
But, I'm on the prowl.
I'm on a proud. He's available. He's single and ready to mingle. If there's a very intelligent, beautiful blonde that's watching this right now, shoot him a text.
Slide those comments.
Unless he's married and you're looking back on this 40, 50 years from now.
Don't shoot him a text.
Do not. Unless it's for business inquiries.
That's it.
Or send him free samples of your
protein powder.
Just had to clarify. Dude, it's crazy, dude. We're gonna look back on these videos and just because a lot of these conversations, man, that we have, they're fantastic. But the fact that we're podcasting it, we get to go back to them. It's amazing. I was watching a podcast we did with Christina yesterday, actually. And I was like, dude, we were hitting it because AY was in the room. My brother walked by. And we were able to kind of snap back into it. Dude, it's crazy, man. The stuff that we're doing is it's wild.
I think the biggest thing will push me, for anyone who want to post is your kids, your grandkids, your great grandkids are gonna see this, you know? So that's the cool thing too, is that's why I'm also posting content, doing the cool stuff with my dad. Because there's gonna be a time, it's a real thing. I don't want that day to come, but he's not gonna be around anymore. And I can just pull up, be like, I can show my son or my grandkid, be like, yeah, look at your grandfather. He was 65, being a stubborn ox, still pulling covers. This, what you have here is because of that man.
Yeah.
He created this life for us because of what he did, and this is him. And it's showing what I look like or what the workouts you do. Because you could tell your kids I used to bench 500 pounds. But by the way, my man here, just a quick shout out. He's going for 5 bills. He put 425, correct?
Yeah.
Right? Pretty easily.
425
raw.
Last Tuesday, raw. Yeah.
Unenhanced.
No drugs. Unenhanced. I'm not taking drugs. I'm just fat. I'm working on it. But now, man, honestly, you're right. And I think it goes further than just a picture in a photo album. Our parents go down nostalgia lane. They pull out the photo album and they start flipping through it. It's different. It is different when there's an actual video.
You'd be like, hey, your son, your daughter, I'm going through some stuff right now. I'm going through say fast forward 20 years, Shalape or your son, they're trying to find their identity or they have a bad story. And you can be like, well, when I was your age, this is what I was going through. Yeah. And this is what I talked about, and they can relate.
Yeah.
It's what we talk about, we're pretty real,
Very real. And these conversations, in many regards, the fact that it's being recorded is just so cool that we have a catalog of it. I think it's awesome. I think it's fantastic.
I love it.
It's just so heartwarming. Yesterday I was just I went back and I was like, wow, dude, like we really had this conversation. I don't remember these questions, but just like that, we were back there. Like it was like very interesting. You realize your perception of time is warped too, or like what you said. Like if there's something to remember what someone said off recollection, than to actually be able to go back and actually hear it. I think that's awesome.
And for me too, like when I like there's moments like this season, like I'm getting hyper stressed, like getting all this stuff, and like I go back
to the winter to hear what your metacognition was and what your thought from. Oh, sorry for interjecting, but what's that process like when you see it? Like,
it's been one of the best things to get me out of it, because my thought process, not in a bad way, but you know, no one knows what you're going through.
Of course, no one, absolutely no one.
Your wife, your girlfriend,
nobody
friends,
knows.
no one knows, but you know.
Yeah.
So I look back at moments in like the story and tell myself identity, stress, and like I go back, like it was probably like 2 weeks ago. I was like kind of just like overwhelmed, like started to feel sorry for myself.
Yeah.
And I pulled up the video and it was just like, okay. It went back to the video of like when I talk about fatherhood, and it's like when I sit with my future self.
Yes.
It's like, okay, trust yourself. Everything's gonna work out.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Just like that, you remember.
And I remembered like, okay, now I'm in this. Like, it's okay. It's okay to be stressed. It's okay to not know what's going on. It's okay to worry about things.
Yeah.
But just trust the process. You know, like freaking out. It's not gonna like so. Hearing it from myself has really
hits different.
It hits so
it's so different. You're like, oh, what is this AI? What is this?
It's crazy.
And meanwhile, you're like, no, I actually said that.
Yeah. So like that was.
You actually forgot you said it. That's why you had to watch it, because you remembered that you said. You're like, what? It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It's a trip.
And what I'm interested to see is when this season is over, and you're watching episodes from in the season. That's going to be super interesting too.
Yeah.
Tell me, what was your day like today? Be real with me. What did you do today?
Well, so last night, me and my buddy went out. We met these awesome people.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nancy and Louise. One's from Colombia, one's from Costa Rica. They're like, yeah, we're doing the hot yoga class in the morning.
They invited you to a hot yoga. That's savage. They were even out. So they were like, they're about that fitness life.
About that fitness life. And we're like, okay. We'll do it. And they think we're serious. We signed up right there, showed them it.
They thought it was a joke, right?
Yeah. And then we had great conversations, like getting super down to earth people. So my buddy texted like, we were up in the morning and like, it was a little out of the way, but we went this morning. And
where was it? Was it
Cranford?
Oh wow!
It was called like Hot Yoga Revolution. It was
crazy.
A hot vinyasana power yoga. So it's like pretty advanced yoga. And they were kind of warning us, like, hey, the room's 120 degrees, like, bring a lot of water. Like, they're kind of prepping us because, like, he's done yoga maybe.
What these ladies do? Why are they so fit?
I don't know. I love it.
They cops or something? Like,
no, well, one of them is they're both business owners, too. One of them owns a hair salon, and the other one is an integrative nutrition practitioner and, like, a massage therapist.
Savages.
So, like, they're
just people who are just entrepreneurial, successful entrepreneurs.
So
basically, their whole life has been hard, and this... They like the agony of this.
Sunday morning.
They have that thing in their mind that they need to itch with by doing this painful thing.
You know that
agony switch, turn on, please. It's like, oh, my life's kind of hard. Oh, I'm gonna make it harder so that it doesn't feel as hard. That's crazy, dude.
So we show up again. We just met them last
savage,
night. They held our spots and for us. Like again, no contact in the morning. They just held our spots. We get in. 120 degrees in front of us. But the hottest yoga I've done before is 100, and I've never done a power vinyasa flow.
Did you hydrate prior to this?
I did.
You tried.
I did, but I mean.
M&T?
It was.
You sprinkle some M&T.
I put sea salt and lemon, and I brought that too.
You're like,
But I had 2 large towels on my mat. I ripped the shirt off, and at the end of the class, the 2 towels were just sopping wet, like literally like heavy.
So you were leaked, like
I was dripping.
If someone tried to hug you, like they're sliding off.
I was sliding off, like literally in the class, like as we go from like upward dog, downward dog, like I'm just dripping, like just like a puddle.
But you felt good though.
Oh, after it felt amazing.
Did you weigh yourself after?
No, but I had a sweat leak. I feel the towels were at least 10 pounds.
That's crazy, dude.
But again, awesome environment because me and my friend Danny, shout out Danny, he's done yoga 5 times before this too. And like the instructor came over, like said, "Good job, guys!" Like because we were new. It's usually like the same people because it's an advanced class.
What, dude?
And so we did that.
Then you worked.
I went to work.
So wait, tell up. So after you finished the hot yoga class, around what time did you finish the hot yoga class?
That was 10 o'clock.
So what did you do after that? Did you hydrate? Like, what did you do to get prepared for work?
I hydrated, showered, and went right to the pool.
And how far of a drive was the pool from your house?
From my house, only about 15 minutes.
Okay, 15 minutes. So you got, like, you basically had like a
An
45 hour break in between the hot yoga, which was the hardest hot yoga in the hottest climate that you.
Top 10 hardest fitness class I ever took.
And you gave yourself only an hour to recover before you went to manual labor.
I pulled a big cover.
By yourself?
No.
Okay.
I had some guys with me.
And how was the pool work? Was it easier?
No.
Because it was hot today.
It was hot and I was tired.
Were you sweating or no?
Not at the pool.
But you were drained, right? Bro, after a hot yoga class, you kind of have to come home and just sleep.
You could.
But you decide not to.
And I worked till about, I called it time like 6:30.
Yeah. So, Tom's child that's listening to this in the future, I know it's kind of tough right now, and I know you feel like, you have a lot on your plate. I'm not putting pressure on you, but you got this.
But the testament, I mean, my thought process also is, I get to do this.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm so blessed that like I could go do the hot yoga. I have the flexibility to do that, to even like have the physicality to do that class. Met amazing people, and then go do manual labor, like run a business, have amazing employees. So I honestly wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
And now that I'm here, again, this is the main character day.
Yeah.
I had a hot yoga class with 2 people that I never knew before. The hardest class I ever took. Did my work stuff, worked for 6-7 hours.
Crushed it, the hot yoga. Crushed work.
And now I'm having the podcast with one of my best friends. So this is main character life with an amazing meal.
And talk about a life-filled day. Like you lived, bro, you lived today. Think about that.
So I woke up at 6:30. I did my meditation,
Prayer.
my prayer, my gratitude journal, my grounding, my affirmations, answered emails, went to yoga. There's no stopping.
You lived today.
I lived. I was alive, and that's something like one of my affirmations is like live, because honestly, just full transparency, there was a point in my life I didn't want to live.
Yeah.
So now I'm like every day I want to live.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing.
And you lived.
I lived, dude. It was a beautiful day out.
Legend day, man. That was a legend day.
And it was a normal Sunday. It's crazy.
Savage. Text this guy. I'm like, hey man, you should move the podcast. Thank goodness I did, because then you wouldn't have been able to do that. It's crazy how that works.
The synchronicities of life are.
It's very uncanny, like just strange.
I think that's something I've realized. If you fully
surrender, it can't be coincidental.
It's not.
It can't be.
If you fully surrender and let go, I mean, for example, last night we did Sober Sense. So me and my friend Danny went to Morristown, and so I tried to I went up to a girl and tried to introduce him to a girl, and she was actually Mexican, and so they couldn't talk to each other because he didn't speak Spanish. So I just thought it'd be funny. I went to 2 random people. I'm like, hey, you guys speak Spanish? Because he doesn't speak Spanish. And it just happened that this guy was from Colombia, the girl's from Costa Rica, and they both spoke fluent Spanish. What are the odds of that? So it was like the serendipity of that. And then so it's just I think what I realized, if you fully accept and surrender to life and just have a vision of where you want to go and have faith and get there, things just happen.
Things will fall in place to get you there. And I was kind of talking to you about that in the grill, that it's so interesting how when someone's super passionate about something and they're so focused on getting somewhere, how people will just come around and opportunities will present themselves in order for you to get there. Bear in mind, that person's not lazy and being idle. You're actually working towards something. It's different if you sit down and you're like, hey, I really want to go there. It would be nice if I went there, Then proceeds to go back and watch TV. But you're going outside, you're walking on the street, you have no idea where you're going. And people are like, yo, dude, there's a blizzard outside. What are you doing? Yeah, I'm trying to get to, Newark. Dude, that's 50 miles away. Hop in the truck. It's crazy, how, if you kind of do it. But then you have to have the boldness to not even think that someone will stop you. You know what? I'm not going to die on the way. I'm going to bundle myself up and I'm going to make it there.
Because you have faith.
Exactly. So you're not counting on someone helping you out. If someone does, that's nice. But just, that resolve.
Yep.
Yeah. Did I tell you about the story of that day where, like, you know, my wife had been telling me, like, to pick up the U-Haul truck to move.
No.
To move from our apartment. But, dude, I was going to move from my apartment, dude. And then, like, I was just like, you know what? I didn't call anyone. I just woke up early in the morning, like, at I think, like, 7.
This guy's like, I want that powerlifting workout.
And I told my wife, I was like, all right, baby, I'll be back later to move the stuff. Because all my stuff was in my parents' garage, because they have a garage in their house.
Mm-hmm. And this is Jersey City apartment?
Yeah, all the stuff from Jersey City apartment was in there, and I was going to move it to the Plainfield house by myself, up the flat steps. Beds, king-size bed, 4 mattresses. I was just going to, you know, do it all by myself and be back on time. On my way downstairs, I walk out and I look, and I see my friend Alex, and he's just in the car. He's like, yo, AB, what's up, man? How you doing, man? I'm like, nothing much, man. I actually got to run because I got to go pick up my U-Haul truck because I got to move. Then he looks around me. He's like, who's moving with you? I'm like, not just me, you know, it's just like 4 or 5 beds. And he's like, you know what, man? There's actually a guy that I was trying to hang out with today. I can get him because we were going to work out. We'll just blow up our day. Aquazi, Alex, and this dude Drew just came and they helped me move in that day. But I was
moving.
But I was 100%. And dude, as we were doing it, we were all in a full drench of sweat, like as we were moving and stuff like that. Because it was in like a late April setting, like it was hot like how it is. And I was like, bro, am I foolishness? I was outside like thinking I was gonna do this. If I had woken up, got out of bed 30 minutes later, showered 4 minutes, I would have completely missed them. But it worked out, and I didn't even know they would be in the vicinity. Alex at the time lived in Morristown. He had no business being there. Like, what?
Or how about how we met at the gun range?
What? That day was crazy, man.
So I was with Danny.
Oh, you were with Danny that day?
Yeah. I was with Danny, and we're like, he's never shot before. Let's go to the gun range.
Well, and then I was there because I had a couple friends that bought guns and they never shot them. And I was like, what? Like, let's go. And like,
Just think about that. Like, just could have things.
had it been we never met that.
But we were next to each other too.
If we didn't see that day, and we didn't even talk the whole time. We were beside each other. We didn't talk the whole time. It was at the end when you were leaving, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you're like, hey, like I know you. I forgot what you said. You're like Pingree guy,
yeah.
Or did I come up to you? I forgot what happened.
I think I'm like. It was a weird.
I was like, yeah, bro. Do I know you? Like,
okay, I looked at you like
from high school, and then we met for lunch the following day. Dude, that was crazy too. That you were down to like. Then we had sushi the second time.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy, bro. It's like what? If we had never went to the gun range that day, this podcast would not happen. Like,
no,
it's crazy.
Just think, like,
look at the relationship that we've developed.
I'm saying, I wouldn't be the person who I am today if I didn't go to the gun range. Not even the podcast.
That's because all the stuff that happened.
All the stuff that transpired.
Near-death experience.
Near-death experience. Like,
because you wanted to give up, like you said. Like you were like,
oh, good.
But now we know if that ever happens again, you can call me, right?
I know that.
Pray it never does and it never will,
but now
even your mom, like my wife asked about your mom today. So we're going to give her a call during the week and stuff because I don't like to hop on the phone with her for 5 minutes. Like your mom, I allocate time to talk to her because I love her. She's fantastic. So
she's a talker.
I didn't want to push her off the phone. I was like, nah, like I'm going to have a proper conversation with Miss Leffler. So that's crazy though that I'm also developing a relationship with your mom, which is so cool. She's fantastic. I mean, you come from you're a good fruit.
She's
so you
hard
come
gold.
Yeah, hard gold.
Hard gold. I mean, both my parents in different ways. But
yeah, they're fantastic.
I mean, without question, like what I went through, like there wasn't the support and love was there. I mean, you came in the hospital,
but dude, like your parents, the way they came around, it's just fantastic. You know,
just so blessed, and that's something that I kind of not get upset about, but just realize like in that moment when with the bacteria, when I was like feeling sorry for myself and I wanted to die,
not wanting to fight for them, you know,
realizing like now hindsight, like what that impact on them. I was being very selfish. Excuse me.
Yeah, it would have been very detrimental to their.
Oh my god.
Because they would feel, they feel some type of way too. Like this dude has literally just worked his whole entire life just to create something for us, and then just peace out. Like you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They enjoy the fruit of his labors. Like Like, bro, your parents would love to see your children because they would love to see another iteration of what you would be. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. So, but I'm glad you realize that now, though. Like, and wanting to fight to live, because it's like, because you're gonna be in that position one day where you have a kid and you're looking at them just how your parents did. You may not be the same personality as your parents, but you're gonna have that same love and affinity towards that child.
And actually, I was hearing something that like actually people that grandparents that live around their grandkids, they heal from disease faster, they live longer, they just like so many metrics of like better life. And I think that's something like you do. Your family's close and like your parents are so involved. And it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. And I think that's something like as I'm realizing into my stage of life, it's like okay, I want to be within like at least an hour of like my
parents,
my family. I think that's so important.
You realize it with my life.
I see it,
bro. Like, it's like your mom, in a heartbeat, would happily take your kid for a day.
It should be like.
And some days you and your spouse need to have that time, So
I see how important that is. That like you have people helping you in your life.
Because you notice, like, bro, like we're just like, and people you trust too. Because again, we understand that although people mean well, unfortunately, even if it's brother, sister, or whatever, like you don't also expose your child to trauma if you don't have to. So my mom and my dad, I trust them because they didn't abuse me when I was a child. So I know that they're not going to abuse my children. So I trust them like more than any stranger because like they have proven to me in my lifetime that they're worthy to be trusted.
You, your siblings,
exactly. Now, for somebody else, I don't know what their MO is when I walk out, Yeah, so
that's so true. That's it. I mean, just thinking about going back to like synchronicities of life. It's just like it's so wild. Because think about even like we started this like is in the kitchen and like you're like we were talking about like did you bring up the idea of the podcast or I did? Because you already had a podcast.
Yeah,
like
that didn't work out. Like they didn't want to. Yeah, it was whatever. We tried, but it just didn't work out. It wasn't time. I think it wasn't time.
It wasn't time.
But yeah, we were just having a very good conversation, and I think I said something along the lines like, bro, it's crazy, man. Like, I could just imagine if there could be a fly on the wall to hear it. He's like, dude, we should just like create a podcast. I was like, man.
And at this point, I had no idea that you recorded like a couple episodes already. I had no idea.
And then I was like, bro, put your phone up. Let's see how we sound like. You're like, bro, are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? And you still put it up, but you're like, bro, I probably sound like an idiot. Stuff. And then it was funny because on your drive home, you talked about how you listened to it. And instantly you started thinking like, all right, what can we do better? Even the way you speak has changed based on just it. It's crazy.
Bro. And not even just the podcast, but just
in life.
Interaction
in real
with
life.
people. Like, I'm not like using
filler words.
Filler words. I'm just more clear and concise. And I'm still like so much room for improvement, but it's like,
you also understanding people way of thought process based on kind of like so it kind of helps, especially with people who may not speak good English. You actually become a better communicator actually.
And also for me, I don't think you ever had this problem, but like I guess fear of approaching people. Yeah. Now I just don't care. Like I'm gonna talk to anybody.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't.
It's just not.
Because you're like, if I never talked to a stranger in front of me right now, like I wouldn't have like a very fulfilling.
And there's nothing. Again, it's how you kind of go about it, but if you're respectful and just like curious about them, like, hey, how's your day going? Like,
it will be well received.
It's well received.
Especially if you're jacked and you're really disciplined and you eat well.
Yeah, and you're like, and I think
because if you look at your life too, the discipline that you have in your life, that even again is a resume.
I'm a walking resume.
Exactly. You're not coming to the person looking sloppy or crazy. It's like you're like put together. You're like, hey, like I just know. And your energy is not wild. Like you're not coming like on some like savage. Yeah, like wow, like what you got going on here? Like what are those? Like you're coming as a human being. So unless someone's like really struggling with their inner demons and like really feeling rejected.
Yeah, we all have bad days.
Yeah. Yeah, but most of the time it's gonna be well received.
That was like, and I know I don't know if it's just me, just on my kind of evolution of working on myself, but strangers just start talking to me.
They start flooding. Just
start talking to me. Like today, out of the IO class, like I'm sitting down on the floor and like putting like changing. I sweat so much. I bought a change of clothes and I was still sweating that I sweat through a change of clothes. So I'm changing my socks on the floor, and some guy comes over. He's like, "Hey, like, you do CrossFit?" And I was like, "No." but I work out. I'm like, do you do CrossFit? He's like, yeah. And he's like, talk about CrossFit. He's like, yeah, like the yoga class, like I've been doing here, like, you know, and just start a conversation because I had the physique like a CrossFitter.
Because you're jacked, yeah. So.
And it's still, it's weird to say.
It, yeah, because you still feel like
I don't, like when I look, it's weird. I look in the mirror, I'm like.
You're like, why? How did my eyes go on this silhouette of this body that I always wanted?
Like I've dreamed of this and envisioned this, and I literally write in my affirmations, like, you were living the dream that you thought of 5 years ago when I was fat.
That's crazy.
Like, this is what my physical body, my relationship with food, my relationship with people, with everything is like, I'm living the dream that I envisioned myself 3 to 5 years ago when I was overweight.
Crazy, dude.
And it's just like,
I look in the mirror, it just does not.
It doesn't register. Like, if you asked me if I would rip my shirt off in a hot yoga room
in front of a bunch of people that you never met,
I've never met before,
you'd be like, hot.
No way, no shot. Like, no.
Now you don't even care. You're just
care.
Like, yeah.
Like,
in fact, you're like, I don't want to intimidate anyone.
Yeah.
I don't want people to feel bad about their physiques. Actually, you know?
Yeah, like it's just
now it's almost the opposite. Now you're like, I don't want to make people feel bad, you know.
But it's just like such a weird thing. It's like so much of my life up until probably this past like 6 months, I was always hiding.
Yeah.
Because like I just didn't feel comfortable in my
now
body.
You're living out in the open.
Now I'm just like free. Well, I don't really care anymore. But like beyond that, I'm comfortable and like I have built the like I guess resume or the discipline with myself that this is who I am and like I don't falter. So like I'm always in shape.
You set your standards so high that you're not concerned on whatever measuring stick or standards and a stranger would even approach you. Because you're like, there's no way your standard is even half of where mine is.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Think about how savage that is.
Yeah.
That's like some Navy SEAL stuff. Like, I've been through million simulations so much so that there's not a situation that scares me because I've gone through literally any possible scenario on my own.
Yeah, because like if you think about it, like I don't drink, I don't do any like drugs. I just eat
clean.
I eat just meat, fruit, potatoes.
And you work hard every day.
And I work out every day.
You have genuine relationships.
You got a great relationship.
And you are who you are.
Yeah, and like I'm just an honest person. I don't like screw anybody over. Like it's just weird.
It's wild how like you know that actually leads to things. You know.
Yeah, it's like just.
Meanwhile, people who are geezers and stuff and like getting off on people, high blood pressure, eating trash. Because again, it's that anxiety of like I'm gonna get caught in this fallacy. I'm gonna get found. Like you know what I mean? Like living a fake life is so stressful.
And this also goes back to the other thing is with the documentary crew, I realized this, like it was like an aha moment, I think probably about a year ago. It's like, again, when you're in the eyes of God, you don't get away with anything.
You don't.
There's no getting away with anything. Even if no one knows about it, even if no one knows anything, it's like, okay, so like for this is a hypothetical situation, say, I'm in your car, there's a $5 bill on like the bottom mat.
And I don't even know it's there.
You don't even know, it's under the mat. I open the mat, I take it, whatever. You'll never know about it.
Never.
No one ever knows. But God knows and I'll know.
That's wild.
And so I know that if I know and God knows, I won't be able to live with myself.
Yeah.
So I set the standard that I don't compromise anything.
Yes.
Because everything matters.
Yeah.
And how you do anything is how you do everything.
For our next podcast, I don't know what we're going to talk about explicitly, but I definitely want to go into righteousness because that kind of taps into it. So righteousness is right standing with God. So like that's like literally the highest precedent because it's like it gets deeper than that. It's like, could you imagine like, okay, so that's physical.
I'm gonna get some blueberries.
Now imagine your mind. So like even your thoughts, like if you have a wild thought, like being like, oh snap, like literally no one knows this. But God knows what I just thought. And at that moment, you're like, wait a minute. That's because there's a difference between a thought like running past your mind. Mm-hmm. Like let's say for example, you're driving and you're like
and someone cuts you off and you want to like ram their car.
Exactly.
And if you just
like you can catch yourself and be like, whoa, bro, like chill. Like you can literally tell yourself chill, or you can live out that fantasy like for the rest of the drive.
Yep, and then that has, besides just like not being a good thought process, that leads to stress, anxiety, like bad
bitterness,
anger, like bad emotions, which
bitterness,
a weaker state of being. Because if you do like a physical test, like there's
if that person, the cortisol levels are probably through the roof. Like as they're ruminating, it's like Could you imagine wasting your energy thinking about? And meanwhile, that person, you don't know who's in the brain trouble. Maybe your child's having an epileptic seizure. You know, there could be so. Not saying that that's the case, but I'm just saying that like that's even wild that you're even like
You have no idea what that is.
It's crazy.
And so going to that point, like there's doing like kinesiology, like people doing tests, like of like your strength. Say for example, like you pushing down on my arm.
Yes.
And so if you push down on my arm, just like neutral, whatever, it's like kind of strong, and then you push down my arm and like I'm in a state of fear.
Yes.
I'm gonna be weak.
Wow.
But if I'm in a state of like immense joy, love, acceptance, I'm stronger.
Wow.
So if I'm like, AD, I love you right now, and you try pulling that, it's gonna be stronger. But like, AD, I hate you, then it's gonna be weaker. So it's like the different emotional states leads to the strength.
That's
so
crazy. Being
conscious of your thoughts. Again, thoughts are gonna come. You can't control that, but it's how you react to those thoughts and like ruminating. So if like something awful happens, again, someone hits your car. If you're just like, this person's an a-hole, they're like, I hope you die, like all this.
Or even my whole day is ruined, like I can't do anything. Like,
versus like, hey, like it's all right, man. Like we both got insurance, no one's hurt, thank 100%. God. Like we're all good.
Simple.
But it's same situation, but two different reactions.
You know what's worse? Someone who says it's all good, but then ruminates. That's wild.
That used to be me.
That's wild. It's like you physically give them the pass. But then your mind, you're like, oh man, like in another world, man, I would have beat him up or blah, blah, blah. It's like, what, dude?
Yeah.
Now you're really wasting energy.
And that doesn't serve you.
It doesn't serve you.
It hurts you, actually.
That hurts you even worse. Because then you internalize that. I'm so dumb, I'm so stupid, why am I so... And it's like, bro, what? What?
The only person who hurt is yourself.
Literally, bro. Literally.
But so, again, the thing is, like, to not beat yourself up about the emotions or thoughts that come.
Yeah.
But how you react is what matters. Because the thoughts are going to come. Like, crazy thoughts happen. It's just...
100%. But you have to, like...
be aware that, okay, that's a thought, but that's not
That's
me.
crazy. That's not me. Like, out of here.
Because, again, we're wired to survive, to procreate. Like, that's our basic design.
Now, anything that we go against that's a natural, actually. And, shouldn't be thinking like that. But, again, if you ruminate on it, it becomes your identity, and then there you go. And your actions start to portray that thing.
And your physical body, all that stuff.
It starts to manifest it.
Yeah. And also...
things like thoughts become habits or actions, and actions become habits or something like that. I forgot how it goes, but thought becomes...
It was like a cycle.
Cycle, yeah. But anyway, what were you about to say?
I think, what was I going to say?
Sorry about that. You were along the lines of, you said, like, you were talking about the thoughts, how wild thoughts come, that you can kind of throw them down. I forgot. I'm sorry for taking your train of thought. But, no, man, I just find it so interesting how that cycle goes, man. And we have to be careful. We have to really take inventory of our heart and our mind. I mean, when I say heart, I mean actually mind. But when I say heart, I mean like things that you think about consistently. Like, you know how like in your mind, there's things that if you have downtime, your mind just naturally wanders there. That's what I reference when I say you got to take inventory of your heart. Things that are near and dear to you that like, or even things that you're looking for. So it could be like, it could even be vain things like the vehicle, like seeing the GT3. You're like, oh snap, like this is like you got to be careful what things you put in that space.
Because the issue is like we're in an environment that we're not used to. Like this is all new. Our genes are not evolving to keep up with this.
Yes, especially like, this thing right here.
You know, it's we're not there yet. It's just not. We're not evolved yet. We're just not. This is not. Accept what it is. Yeah. Because we're based off of hardware from 100,000 years ago.
Literally.
So, I think it's important to be able to be aware of that and navigate it as best you can.
Yeah.
But it's a work in progress.
It is.
But it's also a tool.
It is very much so a tool if it's used properly.
Same thing with money.
Dude, today was very interesting, man.
What did you do today?
No, I'm just saying, like in terms of like how the day progressed. So I had breakfast with Kevin and a couple guys. Then I went home, spent time with my wife. After I spent time with her, we listened to a sermon over the phone, and then after that, she went to go study, and I spent time with the contractor helped us with our house. So I helped him with yard work. He's got hip replacement surgery. So I helped him with yard work, and I helped him with his patio, like setting up like leaf, and I spent time with my son while I was doing that. And then I went back with my wife, dropped the kids off, dropped my son off with my mom. My daughter was already there. Then I went to the gym to work out, which was so sick. And then now I'm here, so it's like pretty cool.
It was
like,
a full day too.
Was, yeah.
Yeah.
It was packed. Did yard work, had breakfast early in the morning, drove out to Bloomfield in the morning.
Hung out with friends.
Yeah.
Got outside.
Very similar to your day, kind of in terms of
Just all the, yeah.
minus work.
But again, like filling the day and like doing things. I think, again, we're blessed. I think that we have opportunity to do things.
Bro.
And people, I think, again, they live. I mean, even me, like sometimes you live life that it's not true to you, and so it's so exhausting because like you're just white knuckling it. You're just miserable all the time. So like the last thing you want to do at the end of the day is see anybody and like I have no energy.
Look forward to this, bro. Yesterday I set like 2 alarms, 4:30 alarm, like go like hang out with top. Like 7 was the time that I was gonna be here, but then we just had a little bit of a change in course in time with my mom because my daughter destroyed my mom's house, so we didn't want to leave. My sister had a birthday. My daughter took the flowers. They had petals and sprinkled it all over the house and the carpet. So we had to like clean that up. So that set us back like 15 minutes. But it was almost so perfect, which is so cool. But again, human error. But so I looked forward to this, man. And then we had a meal. I wasn't even thinking of having a meal. I was like, bro, like we're just gonna come and chill. But
if you want blueberries, I'm eating all of them. I want blueberries.
It's fine. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
I just thank everybody for tuning in.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys, seriously. And bro, like, we were gonna do this anyway, but it's crazy that we even get to document this for future reference. And then we also get to share it with people. Because I really do think the things we're talking about is true and real. Like, we're being authentic. We're not we're also not on our phone scrolling. Like, we're just like, putting it. And there's so much, and I really hope you guys see the wisdom that's kind of sprinkled into our conversation. Because there's things that Tom brought up that I even need to go back and rewatch and be like, oh, stop, that's a very good point. I never really thought of it that way.
And as you see, it's probably when we started, like the osmosis of just like us being around each other more just by doing this, our conversations and just our way of thinking about things. I mean, just where we started and where we're going. And the cool thing is we're young guys, so the evolution of where we're going to be in 50 years, we'll look back and be like, whoa.
Literally.
Be like, remember, like, we were dealing with that, or like this stage of life, I was working through this, like, because right now, for example, your thing was more time for your dog.
Yeah.
Mine was more time for relationships.
Yeah. Travel first.
Travel, yeah.
And that's gonna change. That could change.
Because I think,
because I may be a law enforcement officer in the canine unit. Who knows? Like, I get that. There's so many things that can happen.
And I'll have a family one day. I want more time with my family. You know, like,
so it's fluid.
And that's the thing. Like, life is fluid.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think is a beautiful thing because I used to fight change, like we all do, I think. But if you, same thing with like surrendering and acceptance.
Your own words, surrender and acceptance.
Change is coming.
Yeah.
It's just like how you either gonna fight it or accept it, you know. And it could be changed for the better.
Yeah.
You know, some things like again, meeting you at going to that gun range and starting a podcast. I think those were all great changes.
Of course. Us getting our ranches is going to be a great change.
The ranch with the Porsche and the truck.
I'm getting the truck this year. It may be a generation early for the truck that I'm going to have in the farm, but who knows? Maybe that truck will be on the farm too. Who knows?
It might be a relic.
It might be a relic in the farm, but like it's so cool. Like I can see it, like the farm, man. Me having my day. It's done. It's happening.
We talked about it. I see the podcast studio. I see the gym. I see the garage with the Turbo S. I see the Jeep Grand Cherokee. I see the Toyota Tacoma blacked out with the Apollo logo on it. I see my daughter. I see that the ranch. It's there.
Yep.
I know it's there.
It's tangible. You can literally almost touch it.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's just now being patient, and allowing things to unfold. That it's gonna happen.
That's the process. But thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Appreciate y'all. This thing, we be getting deep, man.
We're good.
We get deep.